Hello, Math Wizards. Now we will just continue our lesson with radicals. In the previous lessons, uh, we are done with converting expressions with rational exponents to radical expressions and vice versa. So for today, we will be having simplifying radical expressions. Okay, so allow me to share my presentation. So for today, we will be having simplifying radicals, and we will be focusing on removing perfect nth power in a radical. So since it is the first lesson for simplifying radicals, let us first have the laws of radicals. As what you can see here, when you have an nth root for number 1, the nth root of a raised to n, it is simply based on our previous lesson as well. We have encountered this, that we are when the index was raised to a power the same with the index, the answer is 8. So basically this will be our the basic or the fundamental law that we could use in simplifying radicals, because when we have an equal power and an equal index, equal with the index, therefore we could have eliminate the radicals, and we can have the answer, which is A. With number 2, as what you can see here, since the nth root of A and B, we can distribute it to both of the two variables. So we will be having the nth root of A times the nth root of B. Okay, so with number 3, if it is in a form of a fraction, we can also distribute the nth root of A over nth root of B. The same with letter number 4. So if we have this one, we can also rewrite the exponent outside. So the power of the square root, the nth root of A raised to m is equal to the quantity of the nth root of A raised to m. And with the last one, you have the mth root of the nth root of A is the same as multiplying the two index. You will just have mn raised to A. Mn root of A. So just multiply the two indices. Okay, so let us now simplify the fifth root of 6 raised to 5. So based on the laws that we had previously, so we can apply it by just having, so for you to prove that it is correct, that the answer will be equal to 6, we can rewrite the fifth root of 6 to 6 raised to 1, 5 raised to 5. So it now becomes 6 raised to 1, 5 times 5. So we will just multiply the exponent, since it is a power of a power rule. It will now lead you to 6 raised to 5 over 5, which is equal to 1. So basically the answer will be equal to 6. Okay? So later on we will no longer prove this one, because we have already encountered this in the previous examples, in the previous lessons that we had. Okay, so the answer is 6. Let us have now the fifth root of negative 32. So again, negative 32 is the same as 2 raised to 5. Negative 2 raised to 5. So I will just change the fifth root of negative 32 to the fifth root of negative 2 raised to 5. So again, they have the same indices. Index and the power was the same. So therefore, we can now have negative 2 as our answer. So this will be divided out. Moving on, you have the cube root of xy raised to 3. Again, since they are equal, the power and the index are the same, we can now rewrite it as xy. So the simplest form of the cube root of xy raised to 3 is equal to xy. How about 64? So we all know that 64 in exponential form is equal to 8 squared. So we can just have the cube root or the square root of 8 squared. So if there is no number here in the radical, it means that the index is equal to 2. So therefore 2 is the index here. So the radical and 8 raised to 2 will be divided out. So 2 will be divided out and the order. So now you will be having 8 as our answer. How about if you have the cube root of x raised to 6? Okay, again, so the cube root of x raised to 6, so you can divide out. There is a common factor between 6 and 3, and that is 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Therefore, we can have the answer will be x raised to 2. Once that the order is 1, if you divide out the order and the order and the power of the radical, we can rewrite it as x raised to 2. So it will now become, since naging 1 na ito, the radical sign will be equal to 1. Or the radical will be eliminated. Okay, so that will be x raised to 2. How about if we have this case? So again, since there is no order indicated in the radical sign, it means there is 2 in the radical, and as the index, you will have 2. So dividing out 6 and the common factor between 6 and 2. So the common factor is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Therefore, the radical sign will be eliminated, and you will be having x raised to 3 as our answer. Okay, sometimes there are items that when we simplify, there is just a perfect factor, perfect nth factor for the number, just like the square root of 18. So square root of 18, if you factor out 18, so you will be having 3 squared times 2. So we can simplify it by just removing the perfect nth power that is possible for 18, and that is 3 raised to 2. So you will just change 18 with 3 squared times 2. So the exponent of 2 here is 1. So the order is 2. Therefore, we can now divide out the exponent of 3, which is 2 here. So magiging 1 lang siya. So what will happen is just 3 will just go out of the radical. So this will be 3 square root of since 2 did not have any power that is equal to the index. So you will just have the square root of 2. So the simplest form of square root of 18 is 3 square root of 2. Okay. How about if you have the square root of 8? So again, so changing 8 in a factor that is 1, that a factor that has a power that is equal to the index or greater than the index. So that will be 2 raised to 3. So changing it, you will be having the square root of 2 raised to 3. So in this case, what will happen is just you will just divide 3 by the index. So if you have 3 divided by 2, that is the same as 1 and 1/2. Or if you divide 3 divided by 2, that is simply 1 with a remainder which is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 will be the exponent of 2 outside the radical. So magiging 2 raised to 1 lang siya. Square root of 2 with the remainder, with the exponent of the yung exponent nung nasa radical will be equal to the remainder, which is 1. So So the answer will be 2 square root of 2. So how about if you have, let's say, the sixth root of 15. The sixth root of x raised to 15. Okay, so in this case, we will need to divide 15 by 6. So if we divide 15 by 6, the answer will be 2 with a remainder which is equal to 3. Therefore, yung 2 dito, that will be x raised to 2 as our the number outside the radical, 6th root of x raised to the remainder which is 3. So that is one of the ways that we can use to simplify a radical expression. So again, you will just divide the exponent by the order. So the quotient will be the exponent of the radical or the base. Ito yung base. That will the exponent that will be written in up. So if we divide, so since this is the base, if you divide the exponent 15 by 6, there is a quotient which is 2. So that 2 will be the exponent of the base outside the radical. And the remainder here, which is 3, will be the exponent of the base inside the radical. So mapupunta siya dun sa loob. So yung 2 mapupunta sa exponent ng number sa labas, at saka yung remainder will be the exponent inside. Okay. So continuing, again, the answer for the square root of 8 is 2 square root of 8. Now let's have the cube root of 16. So that is the same as 16 is equal to 2 raised to 4. So you will just have the cube root of 2 raised to 4. Okay, so now we will be dividing 4 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3 is equal to 1 with a remainder which is equal to 1. So therefore, 2 will be the exponent of 2 outside will be equal to 1 cube root of 2 raised to 1. So therefore, the answer will now be 2 cube root of 2. So now let's continue. Let's have the cube root of negative 54. Okay, so the cube root of negative 54, so this will be, so we need to factor out negative 54. So that is negative 54. The factors will be 2 and 27. And this will be 27 is the same as 3 raised to 3. Okay, so now we can have the cube root of negative 2 times 3 raised to 3. Or we can also include negative to 3 raised to 3. So this will be positive. That is also the same. So you will be having so 3 raised to 3, they will have the same order, the same with the order which is 3 as well. So you will be having 3, so negative 3 cube root of 2. So may iwan yun po sa loob kasi wala siyang exponent na 3 or greater than 3. So the answer will be negative 3 cube root of 2. So now let's have 7th root of x raised to 9. So again, the order must be greater than or equal to 9 for you to simplify it. So it will now become, so if you have 9 divided by 7, that is 1, remainder 2. So 1 will be the exponent of x outside the radical. So, meron niya exponent na 1. 7th root of x raised to 9 divided by 7 will have a remainder which is 2. So, that is the exponent inside the radical. So, now, the answer will be x, 7th root of x raised to 2. And that is the simplest form of 7th root of x raised to 2. Now let's have the 7th root of 128x raised to 19. Okay, so we can rewrite 128 with as factor 2, that will be 264. So that is 2 raised to 6, therefore we will be having 2 raised to 7. Okay, so now let's have the 7th root of 2 raised to 7 x raised to 19. So again, it will be divided out. 7 divided by 7 will be equal to 1, so 2 raised to 1. And 19 divided by 7, that is equal to 2. Remainder 5. So the answer now will be the exponent of x outside the radical will be equal to 2. So x raised to 2. 7th root of x with the remainder a while ago of 19 over 7 is 5. So x raised to 5 will be the remainder. So the answer now will be 2x squared, 7th root of x raised to 5. So this will be our final answer. How about if we have the 4th root of x raised to 7? Again, we will just divide out 7 divided by 4. The answer is 1, remainder 3. So, simplifying, x will have an exponent which is equal to 1 outside the radical. And inside the radical sign, the radicand will be x raised to 3. So, the final answer will be x, 4th root of x raised to 3. Okay, let's have the 6th root of x raised to 23, y raised to 10. So, it now will become 23 divided by 6 will have 18, will have 3, the remainder will be equal to 5. Okay, so if you have 10 divided by 6, that is equal to 1, with a remainder equal to 4. Okay, so simplifying, you will be having x raised to 3, y raised to 1, the 6th root of x raised to 5, y raised to 4. So the answer will be x raised to 3, y, 6th root of x raised to 5, y raised to 4. Now let's have reducing smallest possible index. So when we are pertaining to reducing the smallest possible index, that is one way of simplifying radicals. So, let's try to have the 6th root of 4. So, based on the previous example, we can change 4 into 2 squared, and as what we can see, that will become 6th root of 2 raised to 2. So, basically, 2 is less than the order, which is 6. So, we cannot simplify it anymore. But since we need to reduce the smallest possible index, if there is a common factor between 2 and 6, so for you to visualize more, we can write the 6th root of 2 squared in exponential form. That will be 2 raised to 2 over 6. So if we are to simplify 2 raised to 2 over 6, that is the same with 2 raised to 1/3. So now we can rewrite it in radical form. It will become the cube root of 2. So the 6th root of 4 is equal to the cube root of 2. So that is how you will reduce the order of a radical. So So how about if you have 9th root of 64x raised to 6 z raised to 24. So 64 could be written as 2 raised to 6. So I will just rewrite 64. So substitute 2 raised to 6 to 64. So you will have the 9th root of 2 raised to 6, x raised to 6, z raised to 24. Okay, so now we will just reduce the order if there is a common factor for each of the power and the order of the radical. So now it will become the common factor here will be equal to 3. So 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2 as well. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now it will be the cube root of 2 raised to 2, x raised to 2, z raised to 8. So that is now our answer. So we can also evaluate. It could also have the cube root of 4x squared, z raised to 8. How about if you have the 8th root of x squared? Again, you can now just have a common factor for 2 and 8. So with the 8th root of x squared, 2 has a common factor which is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now it will be the 4th root of x. How about the 6th root of x raised to 4, y raised to 8? Again, you will just simplify by reducing the indices and the power. So there is a common factor here which is equal to 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Therefore, the order now will be 3, and the answer will be the cube root of x raised to 2, y raised to 4. How about 8th root of 16? So we will change 16 with 2 raised to 4. So we can now have the 8th root of 2 raised to 4. So the common factor will be equal to 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the answer now will be the square root of 2. Since the order is 2 already, we will no longer rewrite 2 as the index because it is understood that if there is no number in the radical sign, the order is 2. How about the 6th root of 8? The 6th root of 8 is simply 8 could be written as 2 raised to 3. So I will just change 8 with 2 cubed. So that will be 6th root of 2 raised to 3. So the answer now will be dividing it out. The common factor is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the cube root of the order now will be equal to 2. So that is the square root of 2. So the 10th root of 32x raised to 5. So 32 is the same as 2 raised to 5. So the 10th root of 2 raised to 5, x raised to 5. So there is a common factor which is 5. 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. Therefore, the answer will be the square root of 2x. How about if you have this kind of radical? The square root of the cube root of 2. Okay. So, based on the laws of exponent, we can now just multiply the indices. So, there is an index here. If it is not indicated, it means the index is 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. That is the sixth root of 4. And 4 is also equal to 2 squared. So I can change it with the sixth root of 2 squared. It will now become, since we need to reduce the index, smallest possible index, so the common factor is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that is the cube root of 2. How about the cube root of the square root of 27? So I will just multiply. So 2 times 3, the sixth root of 27. And 27 is equal to 3 cubed. So I will just rewrite 27 with 3 cubed. So that is the sixth root of 3 cubed. So simplifying, there is 3 common factor, which is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that is now the square root of 3 as the final answer. Okay, so the 14th root of 7. So again, we can just divide out. There is a common factor between the exponent and the order. So the common factor is 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now, the answer will be the square root of x. Okay, so now let's simplify the fifth root of negative 5 over 32. So in this case, the denominator can be simplified. So as what you can see here, since from the given title, we need to rationalize the denominator. It means that it is not acceptable to have a denominator which is a radical, or it is not acceptable to have radicals in the denominator. So we need to eliminate. So in this case, 32, it could be written with 2 raised to 5. So the answer now will be the fifth root of negative 5. So by the laws of exponent, the numerator will be the fifth root of negative 5 all over the fifth root of 2 raised to 5. Again, we can simplify this. So the answer now will be the fifth root of negative 5 all over 2. How about if you have this cube root of negative 3 all over 8x raised to 24? So again, 8 could be written with 2 raised to 3. So it will be the cube root of negative 3, the cube root of negative 3 all over the cube root of 2 raised to 3 x raised to 24. Okay, so now it will be the cube root of negative 3 all over 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that will be 2. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So x raised to 8. Like, share, and comment your suggestions on the comment box below, and don't forget to subscribe. To get notified with our latest videos, just click the notification bell.